wants to be nerdy and discuss the value question. How do we share our code? Okay. I think we're pretty close here. Yeah, most people have arrived.
No, it's like it used to be slower.
There we go. Much better.
All right. So, hello and welcome to BridgeMakers Summit 2025 and February. Yay! One of the ways you can you can participate is by using emojis. And please be aware, this is a bridge. BridgeMakers is a bridge of many different kinds of communities. And so there are professionals in XR that are watching and with us today. And keeping in mind that we're building a culture that includes everybody and also works to accommodate the different levels of play and also professionalism. Yay. So this is Llama Rock, for those of you who haven't met Llama. Llama is the core leader who leads with me. We also have some of our core advisors in our midst today. Glad you're all here. And we also have newbies, lots of newbies who are still in the contemplation stage of joining BridgeMakers as a bridge maker and contributing at that level and still getting their feet. So glad you're all here. Yay. So Llama's going to do more of the presenting today. I'm going to jump in at certain slides, but I'm going to turn it over to Llama.
Yay, thank you. Yeah, I took more of a lead on these slides this month, but then they still look amazing because Armani took a little go at some of the design, and then of course Heya also did. So thank you both for helping on that because
Thank you.
I'm just not a designer. I'll just say that straight up.
One more thing I forgot to say as far as norms go, please put yourself on orange for this. If you have somebody who's really trying to get into this space, there, and you want to invite them and you know that they can get along here, just please go ahead and take them outside of the theater. You can literally walk through the walls and give them an orientation as to what this part of the event is. So I forgot to say that. I apologize. And yeah, it's a tiny space, so we want to make sure that we're being respectful of our time. Okay.
Yeah.
Zippy.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? I think someone was asking about filming earlier. Did you get that question answered?
I did. What's the question?
Not yet. No. If we can film this.
Yeah, I think for today, because it's streaming, you're welcome to go ahead and film. Normally, for BridgeMakers, we don't allow that. We do allow pictures with name tags off. But if we're definitely live streaming, yeah, thank you, Mary, then that is fine. Yeah. Hey, Beef Boy, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you back there. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's get started. This is our agenda for today, and so we'll go through some updates, which includes State of the Bridge, some events and celebrations, and we have gifts, BridgeMakers in the Library of Resources, and then we're gonna go to our practice round where we interact, engage, and try things out and role play. Next slide, please. All right. So this beautiful slide was done by Armani. Thank you. Just wanted to point that out. Very much appreciate this. So for growth, this month we established our first an official social media team.
Yay.
BridgeMakers is on Blue Sky, and then we have some celebrations. We're going to go through this more detail in the next slide. And then for Edges, civil discourse, social adventure, and then RSVPs. We're going to do a vote. All right, so this is us up on, and by us I mean BridgeMakers, on Blue Sky. If you're on Blue Sky, please definitely give us a follow. And yeah, this is what our profile looks like right now. It's a new venture for us and excited to be there.
And shout out to our core advisor and creator, Armani, who's been spearheading that. Yay.
Very cool. Very,
Mhm.
very, very cool. All right.
Okay. So we have some celebrations. So we're going to play a couple videos for you to see what our graduations of Helper Ones look like. And a little bit later, we're going to tell you what a Helper One is. Yay, GJ.
Woo. Yay. Thank you, GJ.
Yeah. So GJ is now on his walkabout. I don't think he made it today. So we get to celebrate. All helpers are asked to step back and they graduate into membership, which is where we really try to nurture our membies, and we're growing our membee pool to nurture our membies and allow MIMBYs to just kind of chill and be on the bridge, but not building the bridge for at least a month. And then after that, they have the possibility of applying for our Helper 2 program, which is a little bit longer. Okay, thanks, Hudson, for checking in. Okay, and so then the other one, this is a much longer video, so we're just going to watch a tiny clip of it. But for those of you who attended last month, we had a world presentation. Our first BridgeMakers World was created on conflict resiliency by finding Nimsy, and that was actually her graduation world where she showed us an illustration in world form of conflict resiliency. We got to do a whole workshop on that. There's a 2-hour video of me world hopping with Nimsy a couple weeks ago and looking at her other worlds. And this is a tiny clip from it. So I encourage you to watch the full video. Feel safe and just think about everything. Feel safe and just think about lovely.
Okay. And then
Yay. So
do you glimpse
anything? Let me. Yeah, good. Oh, thank you. The hints. Did you ever play that game, I Spy with My Little Eye? Did you ever play that game?
Yep.
I Spy with My Little Eye. There's the little Nimsy. I see a Jose. There's the little Nimsy. Oh, that's another. That could be like the bonus round. Find the Jose. Find the sloth in the tree. Find the Jose. It must be really tiny. Is that it? There's something. Yes! Can I grab her? She's
Yep.
hiding. Really?
You should be able to grab her.
Oh. Arrow.
Maybe I need to extend the range that you.
That's so cool. And she's animated too. Oh, it's because I'm on flight.
Oh, there you got her.
There we go. Hello. Oh my gosh. And she's animated. That's so amazing. Wow. You're like dancing. Wait, am I flying now? No. Did you give me flying ability?
No, you're just up on the wall.
Oh, okay. That
would be so cool.
Oh my gosh,
find the
yes.
Nimsy and then you can fly.
Yeah, exactly. You find your wings when you find the Nimsy. I mean, that's like. Okay, that's going to pause there. But basically, finding Nimsy can be found in her worlds. It's pretty awesome. And it's an animated, tiny version of her classic avatar. She's a brilliant creator and is really good at infusing education into whimsical spaces. So I encourage you to check out her worlds, including the dot model world if you're curious about any conflict you're going through. There's an animated sequence in there that explains conflict archetypes. Okay, that's interesting. I guess we had that twice. Let me just do these. There we go. Okay. Now we're on the right slide.
I also just want to say that these videos are just truly amazing to watch because I'm not always there. And so, like, the one where, hey, I was jumping around to different worlds with Nimsy for hours, like, that's an important 2 hours. There was a lot there, and I just think it gives me a lot of insight of different people and what can happen in VR. And yeah, it's just it also is a lot of time and effort. So thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, jumping into edges. So we have this is our current list of events right here. Starting this Wednesday, we are starting our next session on civil discourse. Venia will be leading that. And we do have a more informational slide coming up. So we'll get to that one in a second. Thursdays, we have Scott is hosting a book club for The Body Keeps the Score. That is happening where I think we're going into into the 4th session this week. Friday from noon to 1 Pacific time, I do a game in chat. Basically, we we play a lot of Discord games and then we just talk. And that has been really fun because I've gotten to learn a lot about people. I think we've all learned a lot about each other this last week. It was actually a lot of fun. And I'm doing this in the middle of my workday, and I cannot think of a better way to just kind of split it up and step outside work and then come back. And I actually feel a lot just more calm going back into work after that. Izuki has Defense Against the Dark Arts, and then we have the Community Builder Meetup with Heya on Friday night. Coming up Friday the 22nd, we have the BridgeMakers Adventure Social with Geeknificent. There's a separate slide about that coming up. And then on Sunday, we have, usually instead of this, we have the Street Epistemology with Heya and Benia. And then at night, at 6:30, we have the TV show, Sort of, with Maka.
So many events.
And you can find all of these on BridgeMakers under events. There's lots more information and a link to RSVP.
Sounds intriguing. We should click on that.
If it's cool, so we have a couple slides here on the civil discourse and social VR. Venia, if you want to talk about it, like that's cool. Yeah.
Yes, I can do that. Yeah, absolutely. Am I still in a sitting position? So for those who are new, first off, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Wonderful. Cheers. So discourse and social VR. This means a lot to me as a trained deliberative facilitator. And it's really just a very big way of saying, how do we tackle and work through tough problems? Now, discourse in VR has been a big movement for physical communities, cities, and counties. How do you tackle tough problems like where you're going to put the next waste dump, right? But it's become more and more important, especially in virtual spaces, to be able to control and understand how to handle these conversations online, right? It's become a very difficult situation. So we want to actually launch a proper certification to increase the number of deliberative facilitators. And really, this is just an expansion of what it means to be a bridge maker, right? Like there's your mental health needs, there's your support needs, your social needs, there's making sure that your people are good in your communities. And then when tough decisions need to get made, there's being a deliberative facilitator. So I hope you'd be willing to join us for our second round. This time around, we'll actually be discussing the underlying theories that dictate polarization, stuff like that. And I hope you'll join us to be certified as a deliberative facilitator a la BridgeMakers. This is our first time doing this, so we'd appreciate a little bit of patience as far as that goes. But yeah, I'm excited.
Hey. And you also put up a really nice slide on what it's going to take to be certified, which is also on the Discord. And so this is the list we've come up with, which some of you have already done some of these pieces. So yay. Okay. Let's keep going. Thank you, Venia. Looking forward to that. Next Saturday, we've got our first BridgeMakers Social. We are branching into a land that is not necessarily my forte, but it is geeks. And so this is going to be, before we do a series of events, we do a singular event. And it's an experiment to see how it goes and what we learn from it. And how do we want to set up the structure of the event if it was to be a regular thing. This is going to be Geeks Helper 1 graduation event to lead this. And yeah, do you want to say anything about this, Geek, what we're going to do?
Well, the worlds that I've picked out will require some cooperation, and it's also going to be kind of a process where you kind of discover how the world works and the best way to help each other in that.
Lovely. I will tell you, this is an endorsement of Geek. Of all the people I have met in social VR, and I've been working in social VR professionally and also spending a lot of time personally for years now, Geek is in the top 5 that I would say have the best list of worlds, the most interesting, engaging, hidden gems of worlds that very seasoned travelers in VR do not know about, but they are incredibly like, how is this not in the news? It's so exciting and fun. So I'm looking forward to it for sure. Yay. Because taking us into the social end of things, which mostly we don't focus on, but is a good teaching moment for us today.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about this conflict / gripe that has been in a loop and a cycle with BridgeMakers for a while now. A couple months ago, a new rule was made. I think in April will be a year. So we've been active for a while. And part of creating sustainable culture is setting some boundaries and having a squeeze. And nobody likes to be squeezed. So we've had a lot of kickback on this rule. Why do we require 3 or more RSVPs, not including the facilitator, or the event is canceled? Which is, from the person who cancels most of the events so far, it feels like being an executioner, because those 2 people that RSVP'd are super disappointed. And the host is also like, what am I doing? I held this spot. I've prepared for this event. It's a pretty like black hole implosion moment every single time. But we still do it. We still cancel. And why are we holding this standard for events? So I'm going to show you in a little dot dance here. I'm all about dots, for those of you who know me, why this is. Because I know it's uncomfortable. So first of all, it's about practicing sustainability. So here's a question for you. What is the smallest number of people to make a circle? We've got 3. Hatson is holding up 3. Does everyone agree with that? Sinver? You say 1?
No, 2.
2?
I
Okay.
turned
2 is a
things off.
circle?
Yeah, 2.
Interesting. Okay. So we're going to look at that. So we have the event host and we have attendees, right? So 2 would be at least the host shows up and at least an attendee. Otherwise, it's a solo event and it's not really an event, right? It's a contemplation. And yet, I want to show you something here. So then we have maybe 2 people show up and then there's a host, which technically a triangle is the smallest looping circle you can make, right? But so why don't we just have the 2 or more RSVPs? And it's because of this. The event host is not the attendee. They are the person holding the space for the attendees. And to require that the event host be the attendee and the event host, that is double the work. It's a lot of work. And when it's a looser event, that doesn't matter as much because it's kind of like, yeah, we're just all hanging out and socializing. There's nobody facilitating and making sure that a process and boundaries and steps are followed. So to actually create that circle, you've got this purple line around, it's actually the mix of at least 3 attendees and the host. That way, that host can hold the container and can blend and can move in and out of being, on the ground as an attendee, but is not required to hold that attendee identity at all times while also hosting. That's an identity tangle waiting to happen. And it disrespects our hosts, our facilitators. So this is the minimum viable event structure for most events, because there's other roles connected to that host. There's the person who's streaming the event many times, because we record most of our events and stream many of them. There's the person who is sponsoring the event, which means a core leader. If you have not done events with BridgeMakers for longer than 3 months, there's going to be a core leader at your event who's offering you feedback and doing a collaborative growth around that. And there's also the marketers, there's the helpers who come to the events. There's a lot of different people inside that event host. And then adding on that layer can be really tough. So I'm bringing us back to this slide for a second for us to look at for something like civil discourse. Our minimum is not 3 people. It's actually 8. And this is about really respecting some of these other factors about our host and about how much prep goes into this and what this would literally cost in physical reality to attend and experience. Whereas the social adventure for Geek, I've flexed this one time. I'm still very on the fence for this because I really think we need to hold this line, but we're going to try this. We don't have that requirement for this experimental event to have 3 or more RSVPs. Again, I'm still really torn up about that, but I am recognizing that there needs to be more flex with looser structure events. So this is the second reason. It's about
So
respect.
make sure you all come.
Yes, event Geek is like, you got to prove to Hey You that this works, right? So the second reason is a different level of respect for the event host. So what's the type of the events? We just looked at that. How much preparation is going in for these events? What level of expertise is going on there? Is this person highly educated? They do this for pay and they're coming to offer this service to our community and we're not even doing the decency of RSVPing. Like that's a sign, right? And then finally, what would it normally cost? Like these are professional level events at times. So now I'll throw this back to Llama. We're going to do a little poll.
Thank you for explaining all that so graphically and you know, I definitely, as core leader, Hey, and I have had probably talked about this more than anything lately, and I do support and agree, especially when Heya is doing most of that support as far as going in and being that core leader in the events. And I have seen the burnout to the point where like it's yeah, I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about it, just hearing the burnout from her. And so anyways, that all to say that I definitely support and also have my own vulnerable story here of polarizing with Hey, I'm many times in front of you all too. And I wanted to point that out. Like we are constantly all of me, and when I say we, I don't just mean Heya, but like everyone in my life, I'm there's conflicts and micro macro at every level, but the thing with Heya and I is that like we don't back down and we just keep going. So earlier this week we had a conversation where I realized how much I was polarizing with her in front of you all, and I have been really committed to digging into that and softening and growing from that experience. So, okay, yeah. So jumping back in to the RSVP policy, we're going to do a vote. We want your all thoughts on this, and so where are we at here? Okay, so if an event series has been canceled due to lack of RSVPs, 3 or more besides the host, we want to know. Well, so the thing is that if this happens continuously, we are going to cancel the event series. So should the event series be canceled if this happens twice or 3 times? So we're going to start with, please raise your hand if you think it should be 2 sessions, and then the event series will be canceled.
hand or emojis? We want your help here. So imagine me being the executioner many times for this and how much pain that is caused. Would you say, because you've probably had to cancel your own events too, and you know that feeling, would you say that it's 2 events? Go ahead and raise your hand if it's 2 events.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Go ahead.
Are we talking about 2 sessions in a row or 2 sessions in total of an event? Call it campaign.
2 sessions in a row in the entire duration of the campaign. If 2 sessions have been canceled because they had not enough RSVPs, then we would cancel the series.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you had just one, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
If you had one cancellation, then one that wasn't a cancellation, and then one that was a cancellation, that you'd still continue the campaign.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's a really good question. Yeah. And that's it's something I haven't really thought about, is the cumulative amount of canceled events and where's the boundary there. We're starting with this one. So yeah, Blurdette, did you have something?
No, I was raising my hand for 2 sessions. The more I thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for raising your hand. Okay, are there any other votes for 2 sessions?
Oh, just a minute. Venia has a question as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for this specific thing, it draws on me that for certification courses where individuals are interested in moving forward and they have homework, right? Is there a difference between standard regular events that are not receiving certification or anything at the end and courses that individuals have already put a lot of effort into, and then because of a lack of attendance from other people, their certifications are canceled?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think that feels like a one-off right now. Eventually, I hope that BridgeMakers will have multiple courses we're certifying people in. But for now, I think we're co-creating that, and that's going to be more up to you and your preferences on how that's going to work. So let's maybe talk about that this week and figure out what's the good first layer. Okay. Okay, we'll keep it the same until further notice. Yeah, Blurdette?
Is it okay if I say why I decided to choose 2 sessions?
Yes.
So the more that I'm hearing you talk and about the toll that it takes on one to have to cancel a session, I feel like there should be a balance between that toll and, like the accountability and expectations that you have of all of us. And I feel like, canceling 2 sessions at once, like back to back, I feel like that third time might just be a little bit too far, a little bit too much to ask someone to have to experience.
Yeah.
So I feel like, we can do our part to make sure that doesn't happen to someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Most event series don't last for longer than 10 or 12 weeks. What about 2 sessions and a vote? I think that the vote needs to start to come in at 1 session to some degree, because we're really at the bottom of the barrel right now. So if an event is canceled because of low attendance, there needs to be a meeting that's going on with the host and the core leader and any helpers that are interested in this to go, we got to do better marketing and we got to amplify, because if we don't, we're going to hit that two in a row limit. So usually by that second time, it needs to be like, okay, we tried something new to get more visibility and more discussion questions going on, etc. And if we're really there twice in a row, yeah, we've got to just call it and suspend it until we get a better plan in place. Doesn't mean it's event canceled forever and ever, but it's about saying this is not fair to everybody who's trying to come together to do this. So it's an interesting thought, though, Mary. I appreciate that. definitely the come to Jesus moment has to be by the second one. So it might be something where people get pulled and going like, hey, are you going to come to this? Do we need to switch times? What's going on? So yeah, thank you. This is hard, gritty stuff. And I appreciate everyone being here for this because I know you have to work it in your communities too. Yeah, Blurdette.
Yeah, can I also just add that maybe after the first cancellation, the RSVP for the next session could include like a note being like making it clear that the last session had been canceled, just to kind of like, you know, make us more hyper aware. Because I know like when I'm looking through Discord, there's just so much going on. Like if I at a glance can tell like, oh, this session needs help. Like I really need to put some extra effort into making it.
So it's almost like a chopping block list a little bit of going like, these are the ones that if we don't get attendance
No,
this week.
Not really a chopping block, but just like, just something that very like kind of in your face lets you know like, hey, like there's a consequence to not trying to make the time for this session. And it's not just about you, like think about other people for a quick second.
No, that's an interesting piece. Yeah, that's a good reflection. We can do better about that. Are moderator cancellations exempt or also considered one of them? So, Venia, do you mean moderators or helpers that are showing up to the events?
So if there are multiple people registered, like it manages to make 3 or 4 people registered, but the moderator cancels, is that considered exempt from the rule?
So they're not coming as an attendee of the event and they're not the host?
Yeah, so it manages to meet the requirements, but the moderator cancels regardless. For some reason, the event doesn't happen, and it's the moderator's inability, for instance.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that should be on. If staff are canceling for their own reasons, that rule shouldn't apply. But also, if hosts are canceling for 2 in a row, then that's not okay either. So yeah, I think we don't have big enough. Yeah, we don't have big enough events right now so far to really need a lot of moderation. This is pretty barriered and closed. But I think it's a good question for a lot of you as community builders, you know, thinking about your events and like if you don't have enough moderators, what do you do? Probably most of you would answer that by we wing it, you know, and we just roll with it. But especially when there's a lot of prep going into these events, the structure, Mace is like, no, we do not. Good. That's a healthy boundary. But this is hard stuff. VR is a little bit like a dreamscape, right? And so people are always going to resist structure in a dreamscape. It's always going to feel like, I don't like this. This is not the main culture. But there's also human beings behind these events and experiences. And if BridgeMakers can't set this standard and model this for all of you, then we're all kind of going to be drowning here and burning out and just vanishing. So this is hard, and we need your help to amplify this and practice the pain of it with us so that it's not just on core leaders to hold this line. And I do appreciate that suggestion of advertising this is an event in danger of suspension. We don't want to put it in a negative light, but it's pretty hard. So thank you. All right, so we voted.
And also,
go ahead.
Sorry, one more thing. Just want to add. Venia did also have another suggestion over here, and I believe, about having, aside from Discord, to potentially have it on a website registration. I know we had talked about Evite. I can answer part of that. Definitely want to hear your thoughts. Yeah, like those are great. That's a great suggestion too. We do need help with promoting events, and so that's where a few slides up there we're going to talk about helpers. But it's definitely on the list of things we've looked at.
Kind of having an Eventbrite format. Okay. Yeah. Let's do our vote here real quick. So all hands up for 2 events.
Thank you, Venia.
Let's see. 1, 2. If I can't see your hand because your avatar is dark. Okay. All right. And all hands up for 3 events. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. Okay. It's
Wow.
unanimous. 7. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. That is, I estimated that's what was going to happen. We'll try this. We'll try to do the 3 because then that's a clear pattern. And we're also having to deal with burnout levels. So maybe we will need a volunteer helper executioner where your entire job is to track these things and chop it up. So it's not all on our core leadership.
We're coming up with that list.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
The hatchet.
The hatchet helper.
Oh, wow. And here's the slide. So we've been talking about helpers. We've shown you a couple of folks who've graduated to MBs, and this is what it is to be a helper. I mean, it's not really what it is, but it's so much deeper. But on paper, here is the information of what it is to be a helper. This is a position that could take 2 to 5 hours a week, and more or less, depending on what you're doing. We do ask that you attend one of a BridgeMakers event one a week, and that you actively participate in Discord discussions. We also ask that you complete a project within your first 3 months. So to back that all up, just know that being a helper 1 has a 3-month time frame. So during that 3 months, you pick a project and go with that. There's a lot of support too. I host 2 check-ins a week on Discord. We also do 1 async check-in a week on Discord. There's a whole helpers habitat section on Discord that you can ask anyone that's a helper 2, or questions. And then Haya and I have a 3-way conversation with you that you can ask us questions in. So we're basically always available for questions, and you do have support.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take the second half?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, the way helpers are visioned, because you all have some version of helpers that you're encountering in other communities or your own, is this is the trial period of sorts where we get to know each other and you have more exposure to not just the core leaders, but core advisors. We have core advisors that are actively collaborating with helpers. And core advisors are people that Lama and I have done projects with before. We've sometimes worked in a professional capacity with, and they are vetted. We know they have expertise, and we just feel like we are offering so much amazing abundance to connect you up and give you some exposure to this amazing group of people. So this is a very short window for us to all just try to get along and see how we can build the bridge. And then if you like it and you realize that was meaningful, I learned it's not a super structured plan, but it has some guidelines. It has some kind of anchor points for you to try to meet these. Then after you take your walkabout break, you can either just stay on your walkabout forever and you're a membee and you're in our community. You're not a newbie anymore. Or you can come back and do a much longer stint, like 9 months to a year as a helper too. And that's where you actually are going to be expected to step up and hold some responsibility for us and with us. And you are part of the anchors of the bridge too. But helper 1 is really kind of the sample course. We have a lot of variety of how much people contribute and how much they show up and how much they spend their 2 to 5 hours a week just coming to events and being the embodiment of BridgeMakers. So that is the current experiment. We're always adjusting it and flexing it. We have a new channel, and this is an example of that channel. So we're going to be releasing this in the next day or so, probably. It's all ready to go. But we have project proposals. We're trying to get more detailed, especially for our creators, where we're saying, hey, we need this thing. We would love some support. And that can help you pass this on to people in your communities who you think would love to support, or you can jump in and do it. And that's the list over on the right-hand side of all the different types of support we need right now. So much bridge making. Any questions from anybody
you-
looking at all this? Oh, go ahead, Lama. And then question.
If you have an interest that's not on here, well, definitely open to talking to you about it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have helpers come in and they're just like, hey, I think the bridge needs this. And then we look at, is that a helper 1 project or a helper 2 project? A lot of times it will fit more in the helper 2 category, but it doesn't mean you can't get it ready during the helper 1. And maybe somebody else will do it and you're just getting the groundwork and research done so that somebody else can pick it up and run with it. So it's a collaborative incubator. This is not about, being in school and going to the principal's office and getting demerits and whatever. This is all adults who are working to build a bridge and learn as we go. Okay, so last thing on that, and then we're gonna move into our fun stuff.
Yeah, this is how you can talk to us here, but also for the sake of time, because we are running on a schedule here, this is how you can create a ticket to become a helper. If you're on our Discord server, you go to the BridgeMakers Become a Helper. Under BridgeMakers is a thing called Become a Helper, and then you can request that. Open a ticket, and then Heya and I will reach out to you and go from there.
We have a whole application to help us all figure out what you want to actually do and give you more details. Any questions on becoming a helper or anything you've seen today before we move into the active part where we're not just talking at you? Any questions, comments?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, Kate.
Can you go one slide back real quick, please?
Sure.
Thank you for that. So basically, all of the points that are on there, and probably many more points, are for people, or that is topic points of where we can say, okay, we want to be in one of those things to help other people.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
You got it. Thank you. It's a good question. So it's kind of like a menu list of how, if we imagine that everybody here is a plank of the bridge, today you are bridge makers. Each of you is holding the bridge by showing up today. You are initiated. Well done. And if you want to hold that bridge for other people that are coming in and being like, what is this group? And you want to embody that and practice joining something bigger than the individual communities you're coming from, that's what being a helper is. It's practicing joining and learning with us. Any other questions? Comments? Okay.
And I do want to give a quick shout out and thank you to all the helpers that are here today. Actually,
Yeah.
I know we're not.
So true.
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
And
we also
really
have MenBees here who are on their walkabouts.
Yeah.
And we have core advisors
and a helper too.
Yeah, we have a helper too. So there's a whole group of people watching and participating today that are part of bridge making. So thank you to all of you who are leaning in. And thank you for, I've been thinking about the metaphor of burnout as how do you know burnout is happening? You smell smoke. And I think that people smell smoke off of me a little bit more lately just because I have been in a more depleted state. So thank you for your patience with that. It can kind of feel emotionally a little gurgly or something. But yeah, we are practicing our best. Okay, last before our exercise.
I'm sorry, I'm just taking a moment of silence here because this is an area that we have on our Discord, which is it's unfortunately a hidden gem. It seems like there is so much content here, and so I'm gonna start, at least this is a commitment to me. I don't want to put this on anyone else, like to actively get this out and start using it with people. It's the resources hub, and this is a place for really, our helpers, our advisors, and you all to to collaborate and put in different resources And like you'll see right here, the screenshot I took, hey, posted crisis lines and survival info. And then I, just Mary put Discord usage and tips together and grants for social good. The list goes on and on and on. There's handbooks and guides and just resources for decades here that are super useful, but only to the extent that people use them. And also, to the extent people know about them too. So we're going to highlight one of my new favorites that I found go for the next part of the meeting. But before I do that, hey, did you want to say anything about the resource hub, or you good to move on? And
Just it's kind of like a bridge under construction. You're going to see traffic cones and dust and confusing open holes of things, and it won't look perfect. One of our values is transparency. And so having a full package to present all of you of what has worked best for us in building previous communities just is kind of disrespectful to how fluid virtual reality is. We are building the resources together. And sometimes we put up stuff that's kind of like, well, let's try it. We don't know. Is this the best practices? We try to list that, or if you don't see a BridgeMakers logo on it, it's still under review, basically. But this is where we're gathering resources from you, and we're also contributing our resources as we find them. Yeah. So this is an example of one that what happens in BridgeMakers is leaders reach out and want to have a lot of one-on-ones with me. And I love that intimacy and that outreach. And if you can imagine, I feel a little bit like I'm listening to the ground and I'm hearing all these patterns. And so when I have 2 or 3 leaders that reach out on the same week or at the same time and they're having a similar issue, that's where you're going to see content generated. You're going to see blogs on the website, you're going to see videos, you're going to see events. And so this was one that came up recently where leaders were sitting there and going, I can't deal with my personal problems because I'm always taking care of my group's problems. And so this was a worksheet to work through.
Yeah. So if you go into the resource hub, you can actually download this as a PDF. But and this is actually what it looks like too. Thanks for including that beautiful image. And there's a 6-step process laid out that you can like literally write down. Takes you through the steps of how to how to lay out your problem and how to come out the other side there and bridge.
Yeah. And this is within the realm of human first values. A lot of times when we're leaders, our group values and our personal values start to blend, and then the problems start to blend also. Right? So what is my group dealing with? What am I dealing with? Everyone's struggling with their mental health. Now I'm struggling with my mental health. So this is a place to sort that mountain out and start to prioritize and what those kind of simple steps can be. So we're going to do a little bit of a silly exercise today on this. This is a meme that or a visual I saw today that I really appreciated. If you know anything about me, I'm all about emotional fluency. How do we talk about our emotions? And this image was like, yes, finally somebody drew this out. And keep in mind, I tune my own emotions out sometimes when I'm overwhelmed. So I'm not saying this is bad, it's normal. But if we think it's the right way to go, then we're going to lose access to all of our emotions, not just the hard ones, the fun ones, joyful ones. And so we're going to do an exercise. We're going to go to the World Prismatic. Hopefully you will join us. We're going to get a group photo before we go to the World Prismatic together. And we're going to split up into small groups, and we're going to imagine a feeling or a metaphor and try to find an avatar that matches what it's like to have a mountain of problems. So Llama and I are going to show you we went and did this homework exercise ahead of time to give you some examples, because this might seem like, oh no, well, what if I can't find it? We found plenty. So let's see. Here is one. We'll see if it works to change into. Oops, I'm so tiny. Let me get bigger.
Wow.
Okay, so this is my embodiment of what I feel like with my mountain of problems. And why? Partly because it's enshrouded in this cloud, and partly because when it talks, there's no mouth moving. That really irritates me. I don't like avatars that don't have a mouth that moves. And so I feel bound like that with the mountain. Uh-oh, did we lose somebody? They disappeared. So
I'm
looking into that.
And then this is Llama's version of how she feels when she thinks of her mountain of problems. And why do you feel that way?
Oh man.
I don't like to tell people that I'm having problems. I love helping others. And then so I just smile through it, like this most cheesy smile that I possibly can. Like, yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
Totally fine.
Good.
Yeah.
I know, Venia, it was so hard. I'm like, do I really need to? Do I have to?
Nice. So yes, you all might be very attached to your avatars, but just keeping in mind that like this is an exercise. You don't ever have to wear the avatars again, but it's a way to not just talk about your problems, but actually also tell the story through your body. So this is the avatar I picked for the second part, which is what kind of creature archetype could help me with my mountain of problems. I picked a bunny rabbit because bunny rabbits, like, they dig and they run around and they don't see mountains. They just see the flower patch in front of them. But also it's a human bunny rabbit. They've got their overalls on and they're ready to go to work. And so this is my other side of the avatar. Yeah. And what do you got going on, Llama? This is your other side? This is how you want to deal with your mountain?
Oh, jeez.
Who is this? I didn't know.
This is Wario, but so I wanted to do like a hiker, because when I'm feeling on the other side, I just want to go hike. I don't even know what's going on. But I didn't want the regular hiker. What was that?
They're just laughing. It's hilarious.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It just the sound. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm a hiker, so we can forget the Wario part and just say I'm a hiker.
You're gonna go to war with the mountains, still having the same smile, the gritty smile. So I appreciate that. Yes. So the goal is not to find the perfect avatar. The goal is just to find a new avatar that is going to be marking a pin for yourself that then in a group of 3 or 4, you're going to get to explain your story of we found some other avatars. So Llama's now doing the little parade. But really try to pick one and then the other side. What is one that embodies the solution, the like moving through, finding my flow? And then follow up with us, like try a thing from that energy in that state and maybe record a little video of what you tried and post it on our BridgeMakers. We'll share it on our socials. How do you embody finding that way through? Okay, is everyone clear on the exercise?
Let's get a picture first.
We're going to get a picture, yes. And then I know one of you said you needed to leave. We're not going to penalize anyone if you got to go, but this is our workshop part. It's pretty fun. It's kind of like a soft social experience for us to all get to know each other a bit. Next month is 3/16/25, same time. We would love to have help producing this event. So if anybody wants to jump in immediately. All right, we're going to stand in front of this screen and get a photo. Yay! Oh. So just jump down here and think about if we had a word for the day. Everybody gets to shout out their words for the day.
Right here.
Here we go. So cute. Woo.
Where is my Mr. Maze? There's my Mr. Maze.
All right.
Let me get on Maze's
Nice.
Ow!
And now I'm the
not a
bunny.
bird.
Nobody will know who I am, but it's all good. Okay, what's our word for today? Like, where's Heyu?
It's none of your business.
Oh,
I can't go
Why is
forward.
there a weed eater above
What
us?
the heck?
Vinya's got
Holy
construction
crow.
going on. But how about that? That's our word, construction. Bridge is under construction.
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 All right. And release emojis if you want, because we love our construction. We don't hate our construction. Yay. Oh, so cute. Lots of emojis and a lifesaver to boot. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you, everybody. So I'm going to drop a portal to a private Prismic world. If you'd like to come with us, go ahead and put your earmuff mode on until I go around, and we're going to do a final big circle where we're going to offer some appreciations to each other at the end. This is going to take about a half hour, and I think Ronan needs to say goodbye. So let's say goodbye to Ronan.
Yes, I have to. Sorry about that.
Oh, we're glad
Take
you
care.
came. Yeah,
Okay, thank
that's
you.
okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you so very much.
Bye-bye.
Yay.
I gotta schedule things differently in the future.
Oh,
Thanks.
yeah, thank you. Well, hopefully we'll have you here
316.
the whole time next time.
Yeah, I love you too, Maze.
Okay, let me hold on. Recently visited new instance group plus. Okay. And again, please keep yourselves on orange so we don't have too much chaos here, because this world is going to be small. All right. So hop in the door.
Poof! Puddle! Puddle! I jumped through the puddle. Not in the puddle.
So much enthusiasm.
Just stupid to go in the puddle.
All right, Sinver, you coming?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay. Oh, the portal's gonna go here. Let me drop a fresh one. Okay. You still there?
Ah, yes. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now I gotta get through the portal. Come on.
Look for an avatar.
Oh, God.
And then the other one.
Okay. We've got construction happening outside of Vinya's house. Vinya, do you mind muting
Venya gets to
yourself
be
if
drip.
you're not speaking? Oh no, absolutely not. You're going to make us all listen to what you have to listen to. That is a way to grow empathy.
Oh, my God.
Oh no, they put that up there before. You
Oh.
asked them that. It was about
Not that one, Cake. Not that one, Sinfer. Why?
Worries.
Chaos Kid,
Vinnya.
really?
Okay, so let's
Why?
let's hold on for 1 second.
Sorry.
Does anybody have confusion on how to do this? Because I'll explain it if you're not sure. Ha! Jay, you are doing a snail. That's fantastic. So
Make it ownable.
remember that this is a quest-friendly avatar, and we're going to split up into small groups, and you're going to describe. I know it can be really funny and playful to do this, but also be willing, if you can, to be vulnerable and actually share. Like, this is why this represents my mountain of problems. And so you're going to type a word over here into the keyboard that maybe embodies your mountain of problems. Think about a feeling, think about a uncomfortable emotion, and then just be curious about what you're going to find. And
This is adorable.
Okay.
A trio of bottles.
Trio of alcohol. Yeah. Okay.
We have
And then
a reason behind this
I
avatar.
believe
It's
you.
because there's
We
a
have a
kid that has
reason.
over 200
Well,
accounts.
Hold
And
on.
they
Don't
always
go.
over
cause issues.
3,000.
Don't share it with
over
everyone. You're gonna share it in your small
It is
group.
over 3,000
Oh
on the
my
Oh,
god.
sorry, they're
accounts.
talking, Cake. Cake, they're talking.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start splitting up into small groups, maybe, huh?
Yeah,
I don't
if
hear
you
anything
have
I see
found
about
your
it.
avatar, go ahead and move this side of the room, and then we will start to split you up into groups.
Oh my.
Are you looking for one?
Wow, that's a good one, Blurred.
I'm trying. Like, how does earmuff mode work? Like, what does
Oh,
the
yeah.
circle mean? Is that the range that people can hear me, and then outside of it they can't?
Exactly. Yeah, you got
Or
it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so we've got Maze, Cake, and Sind, and I would love for you to
Good
get to know
question,
some
I
other
didn't realize
people. So
that.
hang out here, and we're going to split you up.
Okay, so
So
Can actually
Mary,
make the circle visible.
Do you have it, Blurred? Do you?
yeah, I think so.
Mary,
Yes, 'cause
if
already
you
getting
want
the
to
last
go
one of the moment.
with Cake and Venia.
I have done nothing but
Actually, Venia, I'm going to have you go with somebody else because you're more like a leader level. Sim, are you ready to go? Right, that's awesome.
I have no clue what's going on. I have the EMF mode on.
Venia is so tiny.
I do like the traffic
I have
code.
one,
I
but
can
I
actually
change into a
Nice.
traffic content code.
You
Sim
were
is still trying things
just
on.
a little tiny thing.
Okay. Yeah, so Mary and Cake. Let's have you split up and just go with
It's a slide.
Jay. Jay, are you ready to go?
I think so. I just need one more avatar.
Oh, you don't have to find the other
I'm
one.
gonna
We're
pet
just
you,
doing the
Jay.
first one right now.
Oh, they're just the first one? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the first one.
Of this.
Okay, so Cake, Mary, and Jay are a group.
Pet you, Jay.
And so go ahead and
So,
This way.
earmuff mode, go to your own corner, like over here. There you go. Mary and Cake and Jay.
We staying in the center?
Jay, come over
oh,
here.
this one
I
is
need
not
to
good.
up my distance.
There you
just a
go.
bit.
just waiting for.
Go ahead and
Here.
put earmuff mode on.
Wait,
Awesome. Wow, that's intense.
She looks like
Okay.
a walking turd.
I
She
know.
does. I love it.
Okay,
It's
so
little chicken
Burdette,
legs.
do you need to find an avatar?
At this point, we're kind of
This is
Don't
my
you
avatar.
This is the one you're going to do? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
You see a skeleton, right?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I see a skeleton. I do.
Is it your fallback? Hmm. I mean,
The avatar you're in is quest only.
I'm curious.
oh,
That's why I see it.
that's interesting.
Is
Okay.
that? Am I
So
not
basically,
oh.
anybody on a PC will not, they're going to see your regular avatar, basically.
Oh no, okay.
It's okay. Yeah,
I
Armani.
see her skeleton. But, yeah.
And the creator of the world.
Yeah, let me see. I'll try to. I'll try this one. I'm trying to get this one, but it's like it's from a game, so I don't know how it's. I'll try it, see what happens, but it's like
Are
it's
you
supposed to
in
be
a
carrying a
new
rock.
avatar? 'Cause I
No,
see-
not yet. I'm gonna
Okay.
change it.
I know, it's okay.
Okay.
Ruth, where do you want me to?
So Llama and Mace
but he just annoys
and
Here, I'll do this one.
let's see, who's this? Geek. Llama, Mace, and Geek.
There, I'll be fine.
You ready, Geek?
I guess I'm still deciding.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find mine.
So Llama and Mace, you can start over here. Okay. And actually, it looks like Blurdette is ready in something. So we're going to put Blurdette in instead of Geek. So come on over, Blurdette. Okay. So this is your corner for the three of you. And then Venia, come with me.
Oh, you also want to have conversation with
Venia and Sind for chronically barking. Interesting. And simulation. Are you ready to go, Sim?
Making your life a
I got
Yeah, I'm ready.
Invisible avatar? That's fascinating. Well done. Okay, so Venia and Sinfer and simulation are over in this corner. And make sure to put your muff mode on so you can just hear each other. And this is where you're going to share about what you chose as an avatar. That's okay. You can type. Yep. And just so you know, Sim is standing here if you can't see it. Sim is just invisible, which is
So my avatar is actually, I can see my avatar. I don't know if others can see
I can
it.
see your avatar.
Okay, cool. And then
Is it like a scribble?
It's a
Yeah, like you've been
invisible to
drawn.
me. But
Yeah, if we turn
You gotta
it
turn them
feature
fully on.
shows up.
I do. I think it's probably just a quest only. That happened earlier. So, okay.
I'm PC VR.
Oh, I'm on PC.
Interesting. Yeah. I can't see it for some reason. I did before though. So let me. Oh, I turned it back on. I turned it off and
Who
on.
were
And it worked.
you
I can see it.
pairing me with?
Okay, good. So Hatson and Eek and Armani are going to be the final pair. And you can come over here.
But I think it's
Armani,
like,
it looks like, is still selecting, and Hatson is a meme. So when you are ready,
Is that a
Armani,
problem?
then
I'm sorry.
no, that's if this is how it's very illustrative of where you're at. Wow, that's awesome, Armani. Okay, so this is the time where you get to share something about the mountain of problems and how this avatar embodies that. And make sure to put yourself on earmuff mode so you can really listen to each other.
All of our instances are PG-13, unless we specifically
Bear with me. I am not that educated, so my written span is not
with that being said,
What's an attention span?
is causing a mountain of problems for us. There is a specific user
There
that
is no
currently
such
runs
thing because it doesn't exist for
around
me.
many worlds.
You're a naked man for me.
Known as Casket. He exclusively uses this avatar.
Okay. I'm gonna listen.
Starts audio spamming, yelling racial slurs, all the sorts. It is confirmed that he has over 500 VR chat accounts and moderation logs and such. We have banned probably about 250 of them. So this is, this is an avatar that causes a mountain of problems for us. that is my embodiment of it.
Wow. Thank you, Sinfer. You're quite literally embodying the problem itself.
Yes.
Who wants to go next? And I'm going to turn my earmuff mode circle a little wider.
I'll go
there
next.
Go. Yeah, good.
No worries.
Okay, so this avatar feels like a mountain of problems for me because as of lately, it feels like I've been starting tasks and then leaving them in between. I have over this is really bad, but I have over 300 tabs open on my phone. It feels like I start something and then I leave it halfway and I never fully finish it. Kind of like this avatar, it's all scribbled up and all messy. It looks like no one really finished it up and just kind of made a rough draft. It's kind of a lot like what I've been kind of going through right now, starting up tasks and trying to finish things. Like, I feel like I'm trying to do all these different things and I have all these ideas, but it's like I'm not really getting most of it done. I guess there's a saying that they say you can only focus on one task and you can't multitask. If you're multitasking, you're just doing, mind my language, multiple things very shittily.
Wow. Thank you. Ironic. half-built bridges. That's really interesting.
That makes
Venya.
sense.
In
That makes
digital
sense.
marketing, it's called half-built bridges. Wow, that feels like a call out for bridge makers also. Thank you for sharing that, Sim. Okay, Venya, your turn. I'm going to go to other circles, but keep going.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You have to just deal. Make do. Deal with people
Yeah.
the way you have to. Sometimes I go into a mode which is not very good. Kate gets on to me a lot. I call zero tolerance mode, where I'll just start having to just the one warning just out of the window sometimes. If they're just trolling, being harassed, being annoying, I'm just like, fuck it, no warning, boom. But I know that's not the best practice. I know.
When everything's on fire, though,
Kate gets on to me.
You start grabbing people and throwing them out the window.
Pretty much, yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Save the children! Throw them out the window! Sorry, I'm sorry.
And how about yourself, Geek?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
So this is Angel Dust, a character from a series called Has-Been Hotel.
Has-Been Hotel.
And the universe that this character comes from essentially, well, takes place quite literally in hell. And Angel Dust is one of the residents of literal hell. And Angel Dust, just as much as some other residents, quite possibly have some of the hardest lives being in hell. But more so, they are often dragged through the mud, ridiculed, taken advantage of, and, well, there's another demon that quite literally has control of their soul and forces them to do unspeakable acts. And Angel Dust is just constantly sick of it, but they put up a... No, not Asmodeus, it's Valentine that has control of their soul.
Right, sorry.
And they are constantly putting on a mask, grinning and bearing through it all. Often coming across as either abrasive or obscene, just to have a way to deal with it.
Wow.
So that's part of why I identify with this character, for having an abundance of problems.
Thank you, Geek.
Thanks for
explaining
that. I'm trying to think if I've seen this character before too, because I think the art style is very familiar. So, yeah,
Angel Dust is someone that very much speaks to a much darker point in my life before I started finding a way to swim to the surface, more or less.
Wow.
I found the name of that Avi you were thinking of.
Oh.
But they don't have one.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to move to the next circle, but when you're done sharing on your shadow avatar, basically is what you're doing right now, go ahead and find your light avatar, your flow avatar, and then group back up. And so you can just keep the conversation going, but you might have one already in your library that you want to show as this embodies how I handle problems, and or ideally find a different one to just try it on. Something else that can be the bridge with the mountain. And I'm going to keep going. But
hey, I do have a question.
Of course.
Towards the end of this, I have one video for the shadow and one video for the light.
Oh.
If I could play those on the video player in this world at the end.
Interesting. Thank you for that. I'm really curious about definitely sharing it in the Discord. Maybe we'll just pick one of them because we're let me check time. Yeah, we're right at time already, and we're still going to do a checkout. So maybe
Okay.
if people want to stick around, but
Maybe I
that.
just do the light then.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Keep going.
Do XYZ. Like, oh, duh. Like,
hey. So
oh.
checking in with you when you're ready. It's okay to transition to the other side. What is your flow avatar? And you can go over and do searches if you haven't found that yet, or if you have one in your library, just for the sake of time, I'm skipping that a little bit. Go ahead and share what, even if you just imagine it, what would be the avatar that would embody your flow and how to work with your mountain. And then we're going to come back together in about 10 minutes to do a checkout.
To our remote into a VR space because VR gives that sense of presence and all of that. But because people have issues with sensitivity to VR in terms of, like, let's say, motion sickness, or they just don't adapt well to VR, we always have those options for what we call 2D or flat screen methods. And so now that's what we've pivoted to more so because trying to accommodate and be accessible for everybody that can't be in VR. But normally it's on VR platforms. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I love
Hello.
I love the conversations I'm getting to eavesdrop on a little bit here with my stream.
Yeah.
And we're going to transition to the other side avatar. So because of the nature of time, go ahead and describe what that avatar would look like, or just switch into one you already have in your library that is your comforting avatar, and just share 1 minute or more on just why this is your solution avatar, why this is your flow avatar. And then we're going to come back together shortly.
There's a little snake.
Okay. Yay.
I'm going with this one.
Oh, I need to check in with you just to let you know where things are at. So people are starting to transition to their flow avatars. And for the nature of time, we're going to go ahead and just, if you don't have it in your library already, just talk about what you imagine that avatar would look like, or go ahead and switch into one you already have and talk about why that represents your flow and your problem solving side. And then we're going to come back together in maybe about 5 minutes and check in as a group and offer some acknowledgments of what we've learned from each other today. So keep going. Okay. You are all
Why are
in the
none of
corner.
the Mickey's Quest compatible? Fuck.
Oh. You're all in the corner where you can actually try on the avatar. So you're actually going to embody yours probably more than other people, because for the nature of time, I'm just having people talk about the ones they would change into if they haven't found them. But yeah, go ahead and group up and do that. Do that part here. I love it. And again, it's about 5 minutes before we get going again with the big group. So make sure to check in.
Oh, fuck.
Where's everyone at?
Hi.
Hey. You're already checked in for both directions?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You got through it. I love it. Okay, well, the other
I actually
groups
brought out the slide and
Nice. The other groups are still finishing up. So one thing that you can do is do a little intro with each other to learn more about why you're all in BridgeMakers. And that can be a kind of networking bonus for the three of you to talk a little bit more about that if you haven't already done it. And then I'll pull you back into the middle in just a bit.
There you go.
Oh my god, that is perfect. That is perfect.
I'm being.
And now I can be a magician and get my way out of my problems. Just, you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
1 minute warning, and then we're going to come back into the middle.
Yeah,
1 minute.
absolutely. So,
1 minute warning.
Perfect.
And then we're going to close up. Okay, 1 minute warning,
So,
everybody.
I guess I
Okay, so for those of you watching the stream, thank you for bearing with all the chaos. And this is what a workshop in VR looks like. And what would your avatars be? We're going to do an appreciation round as our checkout, and then we're going to be done for today. All right. So fun to see everybody trying new avatars. All right, turning earmuff mode off.
Yeah. Add some form of ability to upload their own avatars.
Come to the middle when you're ready. Come to the middle when you're ready.
Okay. And to Control Project and BridgeMakers.
Come to the middle. Okay, come to the middle.
Amazing conversations. I love the compassion.
Yay! Let's stand in a circle. Find our way to be a circle together.
You said stand in the pentagram? Got it.
Engagement and community management.
Exactly.
So this is a great place to be.
Yay!
I get it. No worries.
Okay.
Hey,
So
you're not
we're
supposed to be your regular Abby.
we're all circling.
I am allowed to be my regular Abby.
The stretch goal was to try something new, but it also can be your regular because we ran out of time here.
Do we have cosplayers on here at the moment? Yes, maybe.
We do. Yeah.
Loving the and I need to then I need to switch my clothes. Otherwise I'm naked.
Geek has the hats. We got a lot of hats in here.
Messaged me yesterday about.
Even Sinford chose their regular
I guess
Abby.
it's
What
like
the
a
fuck?
community
I'm the only one doing something new.
I'm doing something new.
I kind of just feel that
Yeah, you're doing something new too.
mindfulness.
Thing is, why Sinford and we choose our own avatars? You don't have your own persona. We do, and for us to see that we have
I love that
the
avatar.
ability
It's
to
very
be in
beautiful.
our own persona, that is what gives us comfort.
I'm glad you found your way here, and I hope you
Okay.
join
My
the
mind is my persona now.
Why not?
I know.
But for us,
So I figure out mine.
that
Wait,
our
do
persona
you want me to
reflects our
round
personality.
people up?
Yeah, that's really
We
cool.
are and what we are.
I already let
Wait,
them
wait.
know,
That's
but
my
you're yeah.
secret.
Why don't you go
Choose
grab them also? We'll
this goal.
tornado them in. So we're going off earmuff mode now.
Maze.
So be careful with the volume so that everybody can hear each other.
I wish I had it.
I just said that.
Come
Yeah.
on.
So why'd you choose Sid?
Oh, we're gonna share that together.
Why did you choose
Share
Sid?
that.
Oh, Hanson, I can tell you why you chose it. Because it is so old that it normally would be
Sorry.
extinct for
All right. So let's start doing emojis. Let's circle up and start doing emojis to show we're paying attention and we're ready to listen. And that will pull the rest of the people in. So just try any kinds of emojis to just call everybody's attention to the middle. Ooh, those are some cool emojis. Yeah, get creative.
We're in the sharing
Look
circle.
at that. Beautiful. Wow.
We have cookies. Come here. Cookies.
So many emojis.
Cookies and
cake.
Yay. Oh,
And
beautiful.
wine, according to Mario.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for playing around and doing some role play with us. Let's stand in a circle and we're going to do our checkout. And so we're almost in a circle. Oh, yeah, Jay, tiny, tiny little ghost. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, so this is going to be 30 seconds to 1 minute. And this is just what's called an appreciation round, which is acknowledging that something about today made me grow. And it can be something somebody did. It can be an insight that I got out of this. It can be that I held still when I felt like being very energetic. It can be anything. You can appreciate yourself or anybody else. And we're going to go in a circle to be respectful of everyone's time here. So I'm going to say, does Jay or Mary want to start?
So much to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wrong button.
Is it Jay?
Jay, are you going to go?
No, I was just...
Hermione, are you able to disable the walking sounds?
Alright.
Oh.
Now...
walking? Oh.
You got avatar sounds on?
Yeah, your avatar is making sounds when you step.
Oh, yeah. You can also
time you
turn
turn.
avatar noises off if you need to, because that one might not have that ability. So just turn avatar noises off in your volume settings. It's okay. And if anybody doesn't know how to do that, let me know and I can walk you through it. Okay. Good. All right. So
I need
Mary's
a bit of
gonna go.
clarification for my first choice.
Sure.
Who was it who was first to raise a hand for 2 RSVPs and kind of
Right
explain
beside
that?
you.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of started explaining.
Oh, you got the ball. Yay.
Oh, it went through the floor.
Sometimes we throw an appreciation ball around. Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, I really appreciate the fact that you were thinking very much for the facilitators and what they go through in the event. I know most of us voted for 3 RSVPs. I was undecided for the whole thing, but I really appreciate that the facilitators got some love for that. So
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your empathy. Okay. Odette.
Thank you. I just appreciate all. Let's see, where's the ball? I'm gonna throw this up in the air. I don't know where it went, but that was there we go. That was for for everyone that put effort into creating this session and for everyone for making the time to be here, because I think it kind of goes into what was talked about and everything. And I think these kind of things are really important. And I think having this time to reflect on ourselves in the presence of others and have that vulnerability and that human connection, I think those are special things. And I'm grateful to be able to do that with you all.
Thank you, Odette. Yay. And One person usually does the macro level thanks to everyone. So Blurdette got to do it. Everybody else is going to be invited to land on the ground and get specific about one thing, one person, or one part of yourself that you appreciate. It's totally, there's always an archetype that's going to be like, you're all amazing and thank you. And now we've checked that box. So everybody else, you got to land on the ground.
Sorry,
okay,
guys.
that's okay. No. Somebody's always going to get it. All right, Sim, your turn. Oh, Sim is typing. Okay. I'm grateful for you. Oh, thank you. And Lamara. Oh.
Yay.
Going through efforts. So many efforts. Yes. And secret for you all, I probably would not have made it to this retreat, this summit, if it wasn't for Lamarock. She really made sure this was going to happen.
Oops.
So appreciation to her for that. For these amazing events, despite us burnout, that we're feeling. Thank you. Thank you for that acknowledgement. Imagine the burnout you maybe feel with your community systems and then multiply that, because all the burnout from everybody is coming towards us at the same time that we're trying to hold space for all of you. So thank you for acknowledging that. All right, Armani. Lovely.
Let's see. To pretend I'm dribbling here. I'm dribbling the ball.
Dribble.
Pass it to
Got the ball.
over to you, Hudson.
Hudson,
just,
got the ball.
Your energy with everything today is really nice to meet you and learn more about just you as a person. So it's I enjoyed that.
That's lovely. Your playful energy was welcome. Thank you, Hudson. Fully embodied. Look at that. Full body tracking. Okay. Thank you, Armani. Venia. Grateful to Sinfer for being positive and supportive, but also transparent and vulnerable. Ooh, that's a hard mix, Sinfer. Well done. Well done.
I appreciate it, Venia. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Okay. Hatton.
Of course.
1 second. My headset
You're much appreciated.
Oh, okay.
Swapping batteries.
Hatson broke.
Swapping batteries.
There we go.
Perfect timing as always.
Hey, I've been on for like 12 hours now. Okay, you hush.
Oh, you're gonna take a break soon, Hudson. I make you take a break. Trust me in that.
I know. What was I doing again? I'm sorry.
What appreciation do you have for your closing? 30 seconds or up to 1 minute?
And you have to choose someone
for
specific.
yourself or somebody else in the group. And how did you grow?
Honestly,
It's
I'm not
okay.
good with this kind of stuff. I'm sorry.
No worries. Appreciations can be tough, and everybody who spends any time in events with BridgeMakers knows that we do this pretty regularly, and we get better at it. But sometimes it can feel like we're forcing ourselves, and the goal is not to feel positive when you're not feeling it. The goal is just to recognize there's something in the space at any time that we are pulled towards that has helped us grow. And even if it's just, I'm grateful that I'm sitting with being uncomfortable right now, that's an appreciation. Yeah.
I guess I'm grateful to meet new people.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Thank you, Hudson.
I always love meeting new friends.
Oh.
Like Arman, Eek.
Yeah.
Got to interact with them in person.
Yeah.
Oops.
Lovely.
Emoji. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
What emoji did you do?
Sad emoji.
If you didn't see it, it didn't happen.
What?
Okay, Geek, your
My
turn.
controller's whacked.
I guess
The good old
I am appreciative of making people try something new.
Yeah, that is. It's hard. We get comfortable in one form, try on new forms, try on new boundaries. You probably have never thought about the things we learned today with the group, and that 3 or more makes a group, and that doesn't include the facilitator. That's a hard aha moment sometimes for people. Yeah, thank you, Geek. Macro, Mace.
Say, I'm grateful for Cake letting me know about this, and inviting me here. This has been helpful and insightful.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Cake. Cake is already contributing to BridgeMakers. Bringing a friend.
Pizza.
Okay, Llama.
I want to thank this dynamic between Cake and your friends. Like, it's really cute, and not just cute, but it's I can tell that you have some strong bonds that I want to learn from, and you're bringing in your friends, but they're also community leaders. And Mace, thanks for contributing so much in our small group. I learned a lot from you too about relying on others and not just yourself with our mountain of problems. So I'm sorry, I kind of thanked a whole bunch of people, but
yeah. Thank you, Mama. All right, Cake.
Oh, don't worry. I need to step up from the ground as well because I need to thank multiple people. I in general need to thank Sinfer and Hetson for helping me a lot with this group. Without those 2 people, and with sadly one of the persons who already left the group, so better than saying with all of these 3, I would never have made it as far as I got right now. And I also need to thank Mace for always being there for me whenever something is. He always listens to me and hangs out with me when I need him.
Oh,
I gotta break the circle. You're welcome. We love you too.
We love you too.
Oh, I love this love. I love the love.
It's good. It's good to thank each other. Sometimes the problems they bury us, and we don't look around and say, "Oh my God, you're still here, and this is hard, and we keep doing this." So that's something Llama and I do almost daily. It's like, whoa, are we doing this another day? Okay, thank you.
Another minute.
Yeah. Another minute. Okay. It is that hard sometimes. Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Oops, wrong one again. Jesus, I'm getting already.
Yay. All right, Sinver, your turn.
Well, while Hatson is being a noodle over there with his trackers, I want to thank you for being so well behaved today. I know it's hard. I know
no problem.
It's a struggle.
Lots
I really
of
do appreciate it.
Lots of frenzy energy.
No question the weird movements.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Sinver. All right, we've just got a little bit more left, so if you can hold on, we're gonna finish up here. I know the energy's high level. All right, Jay, your turn.
Jay.
Oh, this is always so difficult because there's so many people that could be appreciative for, be grateful for. Man. Let's get the ball out here. And let's throw it to this llama over here. Llama, where is the damn ball?
It's okay, you can throw
there you
any
go.
emoji at this point.
Throw it. Summer. Yeah, there you go. Not a tomato. Definitely not tomato. But here it is. I found it. There it is.
Yay! Catch the
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sending it to Llama because she always checks in with me almost every day and just checks, outside of BridgeMakers as well. She's such a support system for so many people in here, the helpers, for Heya especially, she just is really like the glue in many ways that keeps us all together, and can't thank her enough for all of her support and just really her vulnerability and just willing to get in there with all of us and be curious and help us grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Oh my God.
Yay. Yeah, one of the hardest jobs to do in a group is be the administrative section and do the organizing and the nitty gritty stuff. And while we share that, Llama doesn't necessarily make it in here very often, but think about that. Think about the reward of coming in here. And if you didn't have the time to do that and you were still serving a community of people you've never met, how much love and how much sacrifice that is. That's Llama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Llama. Well, I'm going to throw my Llama Flex Glue. Ooh, Llama Flex Glue Rock. That's your middle name. Llama Flex Glue Rock.
Just